everyone, and welcome to Checkpoint. Yeah! Now, I'm so glad you are here. I'm so glad you joined us today on Checkpoint, and I can't wait to share with you what we have for today. But before I start, I'd like to say thank you, and thank you again. Thank you for your likes. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your shares. Thank you for always checking up on the contents that we have to share on Checkpoint. And because of all you do, our message is reaching a wider audience. So please keep sharing, keep sending to your loved ones, keep sending to somebody who would benefit from it. You know always that at Checkpoint, we give you content that edifies you, that equips you, that empowers and educates you to become a better person, all right? So that is why we give you quality content at Checkpoint. So I'm excited that you're here today, and I can't wait to share all that I have with you today on Checkpoint. Now, at this moment, before I share the topic, I'd like you to go ahead, invite your friends, your relations, your associates, your neighbors. Let them know that Checkpoint is on right now. Wow, I can't wait to share with you because I know it is something that would help you in your day-to-day life. So what are you waiting for? Share to your friends, to your relations, to your associates, and to your neighbors. I'll be back right after this break, and I'll be giving you the topic right then. Don't go anywhere. All right, welcome back to Checkpoint. Today, we have a very interesting topic, and I'll be sharing with you today the concept of servant leadership, the concept of servant leadership. You know, servant leadership is a concept that people have come to hear about, and sometimes you may be wondering, what does it mean to be a servant leader? What is it all about? Now, there is a particular the theory of servant leadership is a theory that is founded by Robert K. Greenleaf. Robert K. Greenleaf. He's a 20th century researcher, and his area of expertise was to figure out the kind of leadership that can serve the people. So the basis of servant leadership is that the focus is on the people. Its emphasis is on the team members rather than on the leaders, so that the team members can become autonomous in their followership, and they can also become free thinking. The essence of all of this is so that you have a group of people who are able to follow you, who are able to serve, who are able to do the work in an organization, who are able to follow a leader, and they are able to still air their individual views. So this concept was, this theory was originated by Robert K. Greenleaf, and he's a 20th century researcher. This man was able to bring it down to our table. You know, there is a difference between servant leadership and traditional leadership. Our traditional leadership most times focuses on a leader leading a group of people, and then those group of people will have to serve the leader, and most times they have to serve the leader in order to achieve the vision and the dreams of the organization. But the difference between the traditional type of leadership and the servant kind of leadership is that the servant kind of leadership focuses on the team members, focuses on the followers, focuses on the people who are being led. In fact, as a servant leader, your focus is on serving the people that you are leading. All right, that is how the name came about. You have to serve the people that you are leading. The people that you are leading are not to serve you. So servant leadership is a leadership style and a leadership philosophy where that focuses on how people interact, and its focus is on the leader being able to make sure that authority is working rather than power. So the leader is not just looking for power, is not looking for to let them know that I am the one in charge, I am the one leading. The leader's focus is to establish authority, to make everyone know that this is what we're supposed to do, this is where we are going to, this is what we want to do, and this is how we're going to achieve it. Servant leadership is a mindset. Let me say that again. Servant leadership is a mindset, and it reflects basically on the servant first mentality rather than on the leader first mentality. So the leader is not just focusing on the leadership aspect, on being the head or being the first or being the one in front or being the one giving directions. This leader is focused mainly on being the servant. So the Greenleaf, Robert K. Greenleaf considered that leaders should focus on their servant leadership, on the servant mentality more than on their leadership mentality. Because if they know that the reason why they are where they are is to serve the people, they will not take it for granted. You know, sometimes when you focus on the leader first mentality, it's very complex. Sometimes it's very impersonal, and sometimes it even leads to corruption, because you're always trying to make sure that you maintain your place, you maintain your position and stuff like that. But then for the servant first mentality, your focus is on how can I make these people better? How can I make them wiser? How can I make them greater? How can these people who are following me have a better life, become better? You know, unlike the leader first mentality that can sometimes be corrupt, you know. So the servant leader is focusing on how to make the people better. Look at our country, Nigeria. I believe strongly that what we really need to focus on is on having leaders who are truly servant leaders, who will not just go out there to amass wealth, to get so much money, to increase their pocket, to increase their revenue, to increase the money is in their banks. That's not what their focus ought to be. We need servant leadership, people who are willing to go the hard way in order to make the lives of people better. Like I said earlier, servant leadership focuses on the people. Servant leadership focuses on the team members. Servant leadership focuses on the employee. Do you have an organization that you run? When we talk about servant leadership, we're not talking about how the leader can be a powerful leader, a dominating leader, if somebody at the top or the front. No, we're talking about how can the people. So the focus is on the people. The focus is on the people that are being led. So how can these people be better? What can I do to ensure that they have a better life? What can I do to ensure that they have a better living condition? These are the questions that a servant leader asks on a continuous basis. You know, it's appalling and very annoying that even in most organizations, we have leaders that are just figureheads, all right? They're just looking for how to instill their power, how to let everybody know you are under me. I am your senior, I am your on top of you and stuff like that. I am your superior. All of those things do not have to matter. As a matter of fact, if you are a servant leader, one thing that will happen is that you are able to make your people love you. Your people will follow you. Your people will want to be like you. Nelson Mandela was a servant leader par excellence. You know, he was not about the position. He was not about the power that he can wield. In fact, as a matter of fact, when the people wanted him a second time, he said, no, my tax is done. I've been able to bring this country to where they ought to be. That is servant leadership. Servant leaders are not conscious or just focused on just themselves alone. They are focused on the people. The emphasis and the goal is, how can I make the people I lead better? Let me ask you this question, wherever you are. Are you a leader? And what kind of leadership style are you practicing? Are you the kind of domineering, very authoritative kind of leader? What kind of leader are you? What kind of leader are you? What kind of legacy are you leaving behind? Because you need to come to that point where you are able to lead people and then they love to be led by you. They love to follow you. They are willing to follow you because when they look at their lives, they can see their lives becoming better. They can see things changing. They can see things becoming aligned in the area of their goals. You know, as a leader, it's very important that you are able to align the personal goals of the people that you are leading with the organizational goals. And this is very, very important. Don't allow their personal goals to be alien to the organizational goals. So every individual who is walking around, who is working with you, they have something they have in mind. They have goals, they have dreams that they have in mind. But you have to look for a way to give them a role to play in that bigger picture. Give them a role to play in that big vision that you have found. So you have found that bigger picture, you have found that big role, but you need to have a way to give them a role to play in that big vision. Because if you don't do that, it's at the end of the day, they would not want to pursue the vision because they are concerned about their own personal needs. They are focused on the things that matter truly to them. And because of that, they will not be able to follow well and also do the work that they're supposed to do. It is expected as a servant leader that when you are able to align the personal goals of the people that follow you to the organizational goals, in serving the organization. In making the organization better, they are equally making themselves better. And that is the main focus of servant leadership, that at the end of the day, the people who are following you are better. They are getting sharpened, all right? They are becoming more competent. They are becoming more qualified, all right? They are developing in character, they are developing in integrity, they are developing in strength. And this is the very, very essence of servant leadership. All right, so let's talk about the role of servant leaders. The role of a servant leader is to be a steward of the group's resources. Let me say that again. The role of a servant leader is to be the steward of a group's resources and to teach other leaders how to serve others while achieving the goals and the objectives set by the organization. Let me say that again. The role of a servant leader is to be the steward of a group's resources while also teaching and showing other leaders how to serve others, so that at the end of the day, they'll be able to achieve the goals and the objectives of the organization. Listen to me, there is no organization that can do well without the people. And people are the most important resource of every organization, be it a church, be it a school, be it a business center, be it whatever kind of business you found yourself in. A servant leader should ensure that he's able to teach other leaders how to serve. And this is not just pointing at them. No. You have to show them how service is done. You have to bring yourself out. You see, you cannot be a leader that leads from behind. Let me say this again. You cannot be a leader that leads from behind. If you're hearing me loud and clear and you've been following, please go ahead and let me know what your thoughts are on what I just said, because no leader leads from behind. If you are going to be the leader, you have to be in front. You have to show the way. You have to set the pace. And when you move, others should be able to follow you from behind. Don't be the kind of leader that you are leading and then in fact, instead of others to follow you, you are the one you are following them. So you wake up in the morning and like, what do you think we should do? I know leaders ask those questions. Those questions are very important. But while you're asking them what do you think you should do, you should also be able to lead them while carrying them along. Don't be carried away. Let me say this again. As a leader, while carrying your people along, don't be carried away, because you have the vision, you have the blueprint. They may have the wonderful ideas in order to push that vision forward, but you must also find a way to carry them along. So while carrying them along, do not be carried away. This is very, 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 very key. So the role of a servant leader is to be the steward of the group's resources. Make sure that everything that the group has in terms of human resources, physical resources, financial resources are well distributed to leaders who are willing to serve in order to achieve the group goal or the organizational goal or the business goal. Now, there are several principles of servant leadership. According to Robert Greenleaf, he enumerated 10 of those principles, and we'll be taking them one after the other. The number one principle of servant leadership, according to Robert Greenleaf, is listening. Great leaders listen. You cannot afford to be the leader that talks all the time, all right? When you talk a little, yes, allow them to talk so that you can listen. Sometimes when you listen, you might listen and hear something that they are really not saying. So you might listen and you'll be able to hear what they are saying or what they are not saying. You can even listen to a person and you will know what the person is feeling. So one of the first principles of servant leadership is listening. Try to listen. Listen and hear what they are saying. Listen and hear what they are not saying. Listen and hear what they are feeling. It is very expedient as a leader that you are able to listen to your people. Nobody wants to follow a leader who does not listen. I know you are smart. I know you are wise. I know you went to Harvard. You know you are so educated, but calm down. All right? Tell somebody, calm down. Yeah, calm down and listen to what your people have to say. You may be surprised. You may have in the pool of the employees that you have, you may have somebody who has the key to your next level, who has the wisdom to move your organization forward. And because you're not listening, you are missing out on that incredible talent. Now, the second principle is empathy. As a matter of fact, if you're not able to listen well, you won't be able to have empathy. Empathy is you feeling with people, all right? There's a difference between empathy and sympathy. Sympathy has to do with you feeling for people, you know. So you're feeling for what they are going through. You are feeling for what they are going through. You're feeling for them. But then empathy has to do with feeling with them. So you are in it with them. You are feeling what they are feeling in the midst of hardship, in the midst of pain, in the midst of sicknesses, in the midst of uncertainty. You know what they are feeling because you are in there with them. You are not one leader that is untouchable. Even the Bible tells us that we have a high priest who has been touched with the feelings of our infirmities. He has felt what we have felt. He has witnessed what we have witnessed. He has cried. He has been hungry. He has been flogged. He has been beaten. He has been scourged. He has been rejected. All right. He has been in a storm. He has lost a loved one. So you see, he knows what we are feeling. So as a leader, you need to have that empathy. That's the principle of servant leadership. Number 3 principle of servant leadership is healing. And somebody will ask, is a servant leader a healer? Not necessarily, but the servant leader is able to listen to people, feel the empathy, you know, towards the people and with the people, and then with words, with counsel, with stories of how they overcame, they are able to heal some of the pain of those people. You know, as a leader, you bring yourself low to the point where you're able to share with them that what they are going through, there was a time in your life that you also went through that. As a leader, as a servant leader, you are able to tell the people that are following you that they should not give up and they should not be weary. You tell them about your hard times. You know, I don't like leaders who arise and tell somebody, if I ever suffered in ministry, I don't know. If I ever suffered in life, I don't know. If I never experienced hunger, I never experienced thirst. Even our Jesus was hungry. Even our Jesus cried. That is why we cannot afford to raise a bunch of people that we make them feel like leaders are superheroes. As a matter of fact, leaders may be superheroes, but they have their scars. Leaders may be superheroes, but they have their pain and their marks in their body. A leader who is a general does not have a smooth body. Leaders have marks all over their body. And you know what? The marks are scars. And someone like me, I've always said it and I'll say it again. I am not ashamed of my scars because my scars are proofs of the things I have overcame. I want you to write it and type it in the comment section right now. My scars, I am not ashamed of my scars, for my scars are proofs of the things I overcame. Please type it in the chat room. Type it in the comment section. Let me know you are actually hearing me, because you shouldn't be ashamed of your scars. I'm telling you, you should not be ashamed of your scars. Your scars are proofs of the things that you overcame. They are proofs that you survived. They are proofs that you survived what almost killed you. A scar is a proof that you survived what almost killed you. So don't be ashamed of them. Generals have scars all over their body and they are not ashamed of it, because it is the proof that they survived what almost killed them. So as a leader, you're able to heal the people with words of counsel, with stories of how you overcame, with information, with insights, with instructions that will be able to help them. So number 4 principle of servant leadership is awareness. Awareness simply means that you are aware of who you are. You know your strengths, you know your weaknesses. You are not a stranger or alien to what you are feeling part time. And you are also aware of the people you are leading. One thing great leaders know is that they know that all leaders are not the same. All leaders are not the same. All followers are not the same. People that are with you, who are working with you, they are not all the same. Which simply means that you need different tactics, different styles, different techniques in order to lead them. Because if you know that this one is a quiet person, that other one is an extrovert, this one is a sanguine, that one is a choleric, the other one is a melancholy, you will know, and the other one is a phlegmatic, you will know that how you relate with each and every one of them matters a lot. The same hand you use for one will not be the same hand you use for another person. So a servant leader is aware. A servant leader is aware. You should be aware of the kind of people working with you, even in an office setting. You should know the kind of person you can make a jest of, and the kind of person that will never take a jest funny. You see, a sanguine can easily take a jest, and sanguine will laugh about it. You look at somebody, you just say, oh, why is your head like that? Okay, so everybody can laugh about it. A sanguine can comfortably laugh about it. But you see, a melancholy will never laugh about the shape of their head, a joke made about the shape of their head. So you should be careful who you make jokes with. Not everyone can take jokes. Not everyone, let me say this again, not everyone can take jokes. So you should be careful. Jokes are not for everybody. Okay, so you come into an office, if you tell a melancholy, look at how your head is, a melancholy would have visited the mirror like 10 times to figure out what happened to my head, what changed about my head. And this is not what you want, right? So you have to really, really, really be careful and aware of the people that you are leading. Be aware of situations. Be aware of circumstances. There is something else they call situational leadership. This is you as a leader being aware that the situation has changed. So in the ideal setting, this is what we should have done. But then based on this situation, we need to make an adjustment. This is also another type of leadership style and very, very important that you should have to work around. So let's talk about number 5 principle of servant leadership. That's called persuasion. Persuasion is number 5 principle of servant leadership. In persuasion, a servant leader should be able to make somebody who is unwilling to do a particular thing to do what the servant leader wants him or her to do. Let me take you back a little. I just started talking about servant leadership, but some of you need to know the real definition of leadership. According to George Banner, leadership is the ability to influence a group of people in the direction of a common goal. So leadership is simply the ability to influence a group of people in order to achieve a set of goals and objectives, a set of common goals and objectives. That's what leadership is all about. So when we're talking about servant leadership, we have to be sure that this servant leader is also able to influence somebody who may or may not be willing to do what has been asked to do, and then take the person towards a specific common goal, so that there is a goal to be achieved. There is a vision that needs to be done. There is something that the organization have agreed to do. So there is a vision that the organization already has. There is a place that everybody is heading towards, and a servant leader should be able to mobilize the followers, should be able to mobilize the employees and tell them, this is what we want to achieve, and come on everybody, let's go together and make this happen, because we have a vision. And persuasion is a very key element, a very important principle of a servant leader. There is no servant leader anywhere that to say, I'm a servant leader par excellence, who does not have the ability equally to persuade people to do something. As a matter of fact, there is a difference between coercion and persuasion. Let me say this again. There's a difference between persuasion and coercion. When you are coercing people to do a thing, that is force. You are compelling them by force. But when you are persuading them, you are giving them good reason why they have to do what you expect them to do, good reason why they have to achieve those goals and objectives, and then you make them willing at the end. So the end game of persuasion is to make you do something willingly. So if you're a servant leader, you should be able to have that ability to persuade people in order to do a particular thing. Another number 6 principle of servant leadership is conceptualization. Every leader should be able to conceptualize, you should be able to see the bigger picture. You should be able to understand what it is the vision. What are we supposed to do? Why are we doing what we're supposed to do? And this is very, very key. When do we need to do what we're supposed to do? How do we do what we're supposed to do? And with whom do we do what we're supposed to do? That is conceptualization for a leader. Conceptualization for a leader. A leader should be able to see the whole concept from all angles and be sure of why we need to do what we are doing. What are we supposed to do? Who are we supposed to do it with? When are we supposed to do it? How are we supposed to do it? Conceptualization is not the work of the followers. It's not the work of the employees. It is the work of the leader. Now, the servant leader should be able to carry people along, should be able to ask them what they think about it. This is where we are going to, all right? This is our objective, but what do you think? How do you think we can achieve this better? This is why we are doing what we are doing, but what do you think about it? So a servant leader, in as much as he or she carries the people along, he or she should not make the mistake of not having the concept. You should be able to know what it is that we are supposed to do and how we're supposed to do it, with whom we're supposed to do it, when we're supposed to do it. Very, very important, and why we are doing what we are doing. So number 7 principle of servant leadership is what we call foresight. Foresight. A leader does not only have hindsight, a leader also has foresight. You should be able to see into the future. You should be able to see the bigger picture. You should be able to see what can tomorrow hold. Where are we going to? What is this vision going to mature into tomorrow? So this is very, very important. A leader sees ahead. Let's say it together. A leader sees ahead. You cannot say you're a leader and you don't see ahead. A leader sees ahead. If you say you are a servant leader, you should be able to see ahead and then lead others, teach others, serve others towards that bigger vision that you are seeing. Number 8 and very important principle of servant leadership is stewardship. A servant leader knows that the resources of this group is not my personal property. This is very key. Let me say this again. A servant leader knows that the resources of this group is not my personal property. It is property that we have to share. It is something that is for everybody. It is not for me as a person. It is something that belongs to all of us. And he or she should know how to release these resources and how to release them in a way that they'll be able to achieve the goal and the objective of the entire organization or the entire group. This is very, very key, because when a leader begins to treat people like he owns them, like they are his slaves, then he's no longer a servant leader. A servant leader understands that he is not a boss, but he is a leader. Not just a leader, but a servant leader. A leader who serves, not a leader who is to be served. Then and only then will the people willingly follow him as a leader. So stewardship is very important. A leader should understand that the human resources are not his own. They are not his slaves. They are not his property, all right, or her property, as the case may be. A servant leader understands that the finances of the group is not my personal finances. I cannot put in hand there and buy whatever I feel like buying, all right? I can't put in hand into the general resources and just buy myself some makeup, buy myself some juice, buy myself some things that I like. It is not done as a servant leader. You know that the resources, financial resources of this group belongs to everybody. A leader, a servant leader knows that even the properties that belong to our organization, to the business, is not their personal property. So when they use it well. They use it responsibly. And this is a very important principle of a servant leader. Now, number 9 principle of a servant leader is that he is committed to the growth of the people. He is committed to the growth of the people. A servant leader knows that it is important that the people are carried along. A servant leader knows that he cannot just make decisions all by himself. He carries the people along. He makes sure that people are not stagnant. People are not retarded within the organization, all right? So that this person comes in at this level, you make sure that he or she keeps growing, keeps advancing, keeps getting wiser, keeps getting better, keeps improving on everything that they do. One thing about me, myself, is that there is nobody that comes around me that does not get better, that does not learn more, that does not achieve and even understand who they are and what they are supposed to do. You know, some people come around me and they have no clue what it is they're supposed to do. They have no clue what it is they're supposed to do with their lives. All right, so they're just dilly-dallying from one thing to another. But when they come around, somehow they discover something that they are very, very good at, and they are able to do it and do it very, very well. So I've talked about number 9. Number 9 principle of leadership. I need to talk to you about number 10. Number 10 principle of servant leadership. All right, so let's talk about number 10 of principle of servant leadership, building community. Building community is number 10. A servant leader knows that we cannot do things all by ourselves. We cannot succeed in isolation. That we need a community. We need networking. We need collaboration. A servant leader knows that no one person can succeed alone. Not even he or she who is a servant leader. You need people to collaborate together with you. You need people to work together with you. You need people to work hand in hand. You know, there are things that, there is value in people. Let me say this again. There is so much value in people. People carry a lot. People carry a lot of potentials. They carry a lot of ideas. Some of them have gone through experiences that you have never gone through. Some of them have experiences growing up, encounters that can help your life move forward. Just one idea, just one trick, just one hack, and they'll be able to achieve something that you've been laboring and sweating to do. This is the era of networking. This is the era of collaborating. If you are selling akara, look for the one that is selling bread. All right. If you are the one who is a digital person, you can do camera, look for an event planner. All right. You can do media work, look for some other person who can do photography, look for some other person who can do events planning. This is an era of collaboration. You cannot do it just by yourself. We cannot stand in isolation. We cannot succeed in isolation. We need each other. And that is why another principle of a servant leader is the servant leader is able to build community. Because of the leadership style of the servant leader, he or she is able to bring people together, to make people want to do a particular kind of thing. All right, so let's talk about the pros and the cons of servant leadership. The pros and the cons of servant leadership. Now, everything you know that has a pro equally has a con. So let's look at the pros and the cons of servant leadership. One of the pros of servant leadership is that leaders, they earn the respect of the people they are leading, because there is always a shared vision, and because of that shared vision, there is greater trust. They trust their leader, because they know that their opinion counts. Every opinion that they give is necessary. It helps the company to make better decisions, all right? And then at the end of the day, there are better outcomes. You know what? They would give their life for that organization. They will give their life for that group. You see, individuals advance when they find themselves in a supportive environment. Individuals advance when they find themselves in a very supportive environment. There is nobody who will not want to be in a work environment that is supportive, that is good, that helps them to thrive, that helps them to be better. Everybody wants to be appreciated. Everybody wants to be able to contribute. And because of this, such servant leaders, they earn the respect of their leaders. They earn the respect of their followers. They earn the respect of people that are following them, because there is a shared vision. There is trust. There is trust in that environment. Now, having talked about the pros and the benefits of servant leadership, the next thing I would like to talk about is the cons of servant leadership. Now, talking about the cons of servant leadership, very few leaders are aware of this kind of leadership style, because in their mentality, in their mindset, what they already know is that once you're a leader, everybody must serve you. Once you're a leader, everybody must obey you. And this is absolutely wrong. One other disadvantage of servant leadership is that it does not help for rapid decision making in leadership. So sometimes leaders want to make very, very quick decisions. They cannot, because before you rally this person down around and bring this other person and tell this other person, come, let's do this thing together. Wow, time has gone, and then there is a need to make a very quick decision. It becomes a huge problem. All right, so this makes it very, very difficult for leaders, for servant leaders, to be able to lead effectively, because they are trying to make everybody's opinion count. They're trying to listen to that person. They're trying to listen to the other person. They're trying to hear what this other person has to say. At the end of the day, time is gone, and there is need for rapid decision making. Let me give an example. Assuming that it's a rainy season, and then you have wonderful furnitures and delicate things in your organization, and then rain falls. Before you begin to get everybody's engagement here and there, what you have to quickly do is to look for somebody to fix the roof, so that rain does not fall and destroy some of those delicate machines that you have in your organization. And this is very, very, very key. So that's one disadvantage of servant leadership. Another disadvantage of servant leadership is that sometimes these followers and these people, employees, begin to take you for granted as a servant leader. So they assume that because you always listen to them, you're a weak leader. Okay, they assume that they can do anything and get away with it. No, the fact that you're a servant leader who is serving them does not mean that you don't have to be firm. You don't have to be strong in principles and in decisions. So even as a servant leader, you should be able to come to the point where you're able to be firm in decision making. You are able to, while you are trying to carry them along, don't allow people to take you for granted, because if they know that you won't do anything, if they take you as a toothless bulldog, at the end of the day, they will just do whatever they feel like doing. So balance is key, right? Balance is key. Knowing how to balance it up. This is very, very important. All right, so let's talk about something before I begin to wrap up. I would like to talk about the biblical leadership models. Biblical leadership models. What I'm sharing with you, I got it from my bishop, Bishop Okudilieze, he shared this in church one time, and it really blessed me, and I felt I should also share with you so that it can be a blessing to you. So he talked about the two leadership models, the Joseph leadership model, and he talked about the Moses leadership model. We'll be sharing this in quite a little time. Now, let's talk about the Joseph leadership model. Now, Joseph was a young lad, and he got a vision. He had a vision where the star, the sun, the moon, and the 11 stars had to bow down to him. And he came out from the dream, woke up, and then gladly called his family together and started sharing that dream to them. Now, there was nothing wrong about him telling them what, he had received. But there would have been another way he would have shared that dream, and he would have gotten the engagement and the willingness of his family, his brothers, his father and mother, He would have gotten everybody's engagement. So somehow, he shared it in a very selfish manner. So he told them the sun, the moon, and the stars all have to bow down to me. And even if you were Joseph's brother, believe me, I know you would have been angry. Some holy people are saying, oh, I can't be angry. No, I will gladly bow down to my youngest brother. Listen to me, it is not natural, all right? It's not natural for anybody to want to willingly bow down to your youngest brother. Nobody wants to do that. No father wants to bow down to their child. No mother wants to bow down to their own child equally. So that was the problem with Joseph's leadership model. Now, I'm not saying that everything Joseph did was bad. Absolutely not. I'm just talking about this leadership aspect. So he had a vision from God, and he would have shared that vision well. He would have said something to the father. Oh, father, I had a vision and a revelation where you were the sun. Mother, I had a vision where you were the moon. My brothers, I had a vision where each of you were like stars in the firmament. Believe you me, everybody would have been excited. They would be like, what do we have to do, dreamer? What do we have to do in order to become a sun, in order to become a star, in order to become the moon? What do we have to do? We are willing to do because they want to shine, all right? They want to shine like the sun. They want to shine like the moon. They want to shine like the stars. But you see, because of the way he shared it, because of the manner in which he shared it, he made the attention to be on him, all right? He projected himself much more than he projected the people he was listening to. And because of that, what he got, instead of collaboration, instead of support, he got envy, he got jealousy because of the way he shared the vision. And this is very, very key. So as a leader, be careful about how you share vision to your people. Be careful about how you share visions to your employee. Don't make it look like they are all going to serve you. They are all going to be your servants. That is not the right way to do things. It's very, very key, very important, because we have to learn from the Joseph's model. We have to learn the wrong that he did, okay? Let's learn from Joseph's leadership model and try not to be that kind of Joseph kind of leader who made everybody feel like I am the Lord of all. You all are going to serve me. I'm going to be the one that is going to deliver this family from problem. Some of you will just go back home and begin to tell your family members, listen to me, everybody in this family. In fact, if not for me, I am the Joseph of this family. If not for me, all of you are going to suffer. If not for me, all of you are going to be in hunger. Nobody wants to. Nobody will honestly relate with that, because they will just look at you and they will not want to support you. They will not want to be with you. They will not want to hang around you because you have no plan for them. Your only plan for them is for them to serve you, to bow down to you, and to worship you. And nobody wants to do that. Even if the person is hungry, even if the person is starving, even if the person is poor, he or she will say, let me remember where I am, instead of making this one my savior. So that was the lesson that we had to learn from Joseph's leadership style. The second kind of biblical leadership model I'd like to share with you is the biblical leadership model of Moses. You see, God met Moses. That was something that was heroic, something extraordinary, something unique. God meeting a man. God spoke to Moses directly. God did not have to consult another person to talk to Moses. God spoke to Moses directly and told him that Moses, was going to deliver the people. As a matter of fact, let me put it in God's word. In the book of Exodus chapter 3, God spoke to Moses and said, I have heard the cry of my people. I have heard them in their affliction, and I have come down to deliver them. And then when you look at the street to see, oh, where is God? Has God come down? Which street did he land in? You know, you will not see it. What you saw is that God came in Moses. God came, he said, I am come down. And when he was coming down, he was coming down inside Moses. He was using Moses to be the deliverer of the entire people. And you know what? When Moses now went to the people that he was asked to lead, he did not come and say, oh, I am Moses, the man who met God, the man who God preserved for his purpose. I am Moses, the deliverer of the Israelites. Yay! He did not do that. He did not do that. But when he met the people, what did he say? He said to the people of Israel, I am Moses, one of you. And the Lord God of our fathers have promised that he will take all of us out of this land we are suffering to a land that is flowing with milk and with honey. Wow! You see, everybody felt that they had a picture, they had a role in the future. And because of that, they were actively participating. As a leader, be careful with your words. By words, leaders have failed. By words, leaders have succeeded. Let me say this again. As a leader, be careful of your words. By words, leaders have failed, and by words, leaders have succeeded. You have to be careful about your use of words. That is why I always say that communication is very, very important, even as a leader. How you say a thing matters. Moses went there and he focused on the people. The focus was on the people, not on himself. Unlike Joseph, who focused on himself, and because of that, he generated envy and jealousy, even from people of his household. But Moses went there and the focus was simply on the people and the good that they were going to. And this brings me finally to the things I want to share with you on how to stir commitment in servant leadership. How to stir commitment in servant leadership. Listen to me. It is not everybody who can be committed. But if you want to generate commitment, even as a servant leader, there are things that you have to do so that your followers, your employees can follow you. You know, you want to generate their commitments. You want them to be committed to the vision that God has called you to do. You want them to be committed to the vision of the entire organization. And as a servant leader, there are things that you need to know in order to stir up commitment in their heart. Having shared with you the Joseph kind of model of leadership and the Moses kind of leadership, you can see exactly where you are going wrong as a leader. So, and you learn how to correct it. So let's quickly share with you before I round up on how to stir commitment as a servant leader. Number one way to stir commitment as a servant leader is that you have to create a picture of a better future. You have to create a picture of a better future. Listen to me. Everybody wants to see a better tomorrow. So you have to let the people that you're working with know that tomorrow is going to be better. Tomorrow is going to be greater. We are going somewhere. Let them know that this is not the end of our vision. We are going to be better. We are going to have a larger organization. Oh, you are going to be working in France. You are going to be working in California. You are going to be working in Kenya. You are going to be handling our branch in Seychelles. So you have to create a very bigger picture, all right, and of a future. Let them know that we are going somewhere to happen. Don't make it look like, oh, things are so bad. Oh, what do? We are dying. Our business is dying. Our organization is failing. Nobody wants to hang around that kind of environment. As a matter of fact, every individual wants to hang around an enabling environment, an environment that is good, an environment that is supportive, an environment that looks like we are going somewhere to happen. And this is very, very key. Number two way to stir up commitment as a servant leader is that you have to show them what is in it for them. Let me say this again. You have to show them what is in it for them. So beyond telling them about the big picture, also tell them what they stand to benefit. Tell them, oh, I've been paying you in Naira, but very soon you shall be paid in pounds. Very soon you shall be paid in dollars. All right. So it might look like a joke, but very soon you will actually get there because they'll put in their energy. They'll put in their life to that work. They will focus on the assignments they have been given in order to achieve a greater and a bigger goal. Do not underestimate the power of words. I said it before, and I'll say it again. Don't underestimate the power of the words that you speak to your people. Even Jesus said to us, now the words that he speaks to us, they are spirit and they are life. They are spirit and they are life. They give you spirit and they give you life. This is very, very important. You need to stir up commitment in the people that follow you. Number 3 way on how you can stir up commitment as a servant leader is that you have to explain the why of the vision and not just the what of the vision. You have to explain the why of the vision and not just the what of the vision. Let them know, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? Also let them know the what, but don't just tell them this is what you have to do, that is what you have to do, this is what we are doing. Also tell them the why behind what we are doing. So I imagine you have a media company and then you are editing videos and you are editing photographs and you're telling them, please edit this picture, you edit this video, you work on this system, you record that audio, you record that video. Beyond the what that they have to do, let them know why. Why is because media is a perception changer. If you have a media company, let your people know that media is a perception changer. Media can change the minds of people. And because of this, we understand this and we're going to use that instrument to help people come to the realization that they are that they can become a better version of themselves. We are going to use this media company to help people to see who they truly are, because at the end of the day, we are showing them pictures that will become very established in the canvas of their minds and help them to become a better version of themselves. That is the why behind what we do. I don't know if you watch American movies like I do, and then you see something. There is always one hero, imagine. There's always one superhero. There's always one superstar. There's always one soldier, one powerful conqueror. There is always one person that is imagined. And then at the end of the day, it makes you have this picture, this imagination, this idea that America is a great nation, that America is a powerful nation, because that is the image they are throwing at you when they sit down to do those movies. Beyond the fun, beyond the idea, behind the story, they also have something they want to establish in your mind at the end of the day. So share with your people the why behind the what, so that while they are doing the what, if they understand the why, they will do the what that has to be done very, very well. I hope you are getting blessed. All right, so let's talk about number 4. Number 4 way through which you can stir up commitment in the people that you lead, in the people that follow you. You see, number 4, you have to add value to them before you demand loyalty from them. Let's say this again. You have to add value to them before you demand loyalty from them. Many leaders are always looking for people who will be loyal to them. You have to be loyal. You have to be loyal. I hate these loyal elements. But listen to me. Give them value first. Don't be a leader that you have nothing to offer, you have nothing to give, and you're always demanding what? Loyalty. People will give you their loyalty when they are sure they are getting value from you. Let me say this again. People will give you their loyalty when they are sure they are getting something from you. They are getting value from you. Don't be an empty head of a leader. Don't be a leader who has nothing to offer. You have nothing to offer and asking them to be loyal to nonsense. People cannot be loyal to rubbish. I'm telling you. Let me say it again. People cannot be loyal to rubbish. In this era, in this generation, people are impatient. They are impatient with mediocrity. So please do not be a mediocre leader and then you expect value. This is very important. I'd like you to hear it. Loyalty is reward for value given. Let me say this again. Loyalty is reward for value given. So when you give people value, loyalty is the reward you get. So when you give people value they cannot find elsewhere, oh, they will remain loyal to you. A wise man once said that if you have value that cannot be found elsewhere in the world, that when you have that value, even if you live in the midst of the forest, people will beat a pathway to where you are, even in the forest, because you have value to offer. Don't be an empty head of a leader. Don't be an empty heart of a leader. Have something in your head. Have something in your heart. And people will follow you. They'll be loyal to you. Loyalty does not just fly around. It's not a free gift. No, loyalty is reward for value added to people's lives. So when you add value to their lives, believe you me, they want to be loyal to you because they want to keep benefiting from you. I hope you're getting blessed. Yes, I am sure you are. All right, let's talk about number 5. Number 5 way through which you can stir up commitment is that you have to lead with character, you have to lead with competence, and you have to lead with integrity. You have to lead with character, you have to lead with competence, and you have to lead with integrity. People run away from somebody who does not keep to his words. People run away from a liar. People run away from a cheat. People run away from someone who steals from them. People do not like people without character. If you are going to be a leader that people will follow, you need to have character. You need to have competence. See, there's a difference between character and competence. Character is that you have right standing, all right? You are who you are, even when nobody's looking. You know the difference between right and wrong, and you have chosen to do all the right things, you know. But then competence means that you know the job. Don't tell people to do what you cannot do. Let me say it again. Don't tell people to do a job that you cannot do. You don't even know what the job requires. You don't even know. And then they are the ones teaching you and you say you're a leader. No, a leader leads from the front, not from behind. If you're a leader, you have to know little things, have an idea of what they are supposed to do. Don't be the kind of leader you don't even know what they're supposed to do. I'm telling them, finish this work in 2 hours. They will not respect you. You know why? Because they know that you do not know the nitty-gritties of that job. You should have known that this job takes 12 hours and not 2 hours, and there is no magic they can do to deliver the work in 2 hours. So as a leader, you need to have character. You need to have competence. You need to have integrity. Be a man of your word. Be a woman of your word. Be the one that says yes and it is yes. Be the one that says no and it is no. Don't be the type that you are saying yes from this corner of your mouth and saying no from that corner of your mouth. That is not the true test of a leader. You have to be strong. You have to be consistent. You have to be filled with good character. You have to be a man or woman of integrity. You have to have competence. Know the job. Know the job, because there are different kinds of authority and respect that people give. Sometimes the respect might not be out of your position, but this respect will have to be out of you expertise. You are an expert at this field, so they will respect you because you know the job you're asking them to equally do. Now let's talk about number 6. Number 6 way through which you can stir up commitment in the people that follow you is that you have to communicate effectively. Communication has been the bane for most leaders. You know, communication will help your leadership. Communication can also destroy your leadership. You have to know how to communicate effectively. You know that as a leader, there is a time you are saying one thing, but your body language is saying another thing. You have to watch your body language as a leader. Don't be telling people, I love you, I care for you, and then your body language is saying it differently. Don't be telling people that we are going here to the future, but your body language is showing that you are already a failure. Don't be telling people that we are going to achieve this vision, but your body language is showing that you have no confidence in them. All right? So it is important that you communicate effectively. There are verbal ways of communicating and there are non-verbal ways of communication. Your tone of voice. Some of you shout on people unnecessarily. Calm down. These people that are working with you are not the cause of your problem. These people that are working with you are not against you. As a matter of fact, they are the only ones standing with you to ensure that your vision becomes a reality. So stop shouting on them. Reduce your tone of voice. Talk to them like they are human beings. Talk to them like they matter. Talk to them like they are important. Some of them are not feeling well. Buy them drugs. Follow up on them. Ask them, how are you doing? See, it is very, very important. Some don't treat them like they are slaves. Remember, this is servant leadership. As a servant leader, you should be able to relate to people very well. You should be able to love them. You should be able to care for them. This brings me to the last point, point 7. Love and care for them. Love and care for them. As a servant leader, you should love and care for the people that you are working with. The Bible says about Jesus that even Jesus, as he was preaching to the people, a time came, he had compassion on them. Because he noticed that some of them were hungry, they were famished, they were tired, and he had to say, where can we find food for these people so they can eat? Sometimes take your workers out. Sometimes take your staff out. Sometimes if you can't take them out, give them something to buy food. Give them something to buy snacks. Every time is not work. Let salary not be the only thing they receive from you at the end of every month. Sometimes dash them stipends. Dash them small money. Tell them, take this one, go and take care of yourself. Take this one, eat. Take this one, buy drugs. Take this one and take care of yourself. It's very important. Reach out to their parents. Sometimes dash something to their mother. Sometimes dash something to their relatives. This is very key. Let people know that you love and you care for them, even as a servant leader. It is commonly said that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Go out there and reach out to people, all right? As a servant leader, don't sit down and wait like a queen or a king for you to be served only. No. Sometimes find out how they are doing. That little love, that little care can go extremes at changing their lives and turning things around for them. I want to really, really appreciate you for standing with me today and watching this program from the beginning to the end. In case you join halfway, you will do yourself a lot of favor by going back to the beginning and watching from the beginning to the end. And please don't fail to also share this video, share this link, let somebody around you watch this video, because it will help them in their day-to-day leadership style. I am wishing you well, and I know that you will become a better servant leader as the days go by. Thank you so much for always being there. Don't forget to subscribe on my YouTube channel, because I like to also make sure that you're the first person who benefits every time I share a new video. Thank you so much for all that you do for us at Checkpoint. And until I come your way again, keep making a positive, indelible mark in the lives of people and on the sands of time. I love you so much. Bye-bye.